It's a huge series. And so I've heard a lot of people say the worst the Red Sox can do here, the worst they should target for is split the 4 games and get out of there, which I will concede to. But in the same breath, I will tell you that that's still a win for the Yankees. They're 2 games ahead of you now because of your little skid, and they're playing better. So that skid has cost you a couple of games in the standings. If it lined up the way it is right now, they're at home for the wild card series, and you are on the road.
And what if that split, also, sorry to cut you off, consists of Garrett Crochet losing one of those games and getting his face kicked in because he wasn't all that great out in Houston?
Right. So he was good in the next one, albeit against the Marlins.
But they're frisky.
Yeah, but it's a fair point, Murray. And look, in the middle of the series, you got both of those guys going. And when I say both of those guys, meaning Garrett Crochet for the Red Sox, Max Fried for the Yankees. They're not facing one another. They're going Friday, Saturday, I believe it is. So Crochet on Friday, Fried on Saturday. So you'd like to think that the team with the better pitcher on that day is going to win those games. That leaves 2 other games in the series, tonight and Sunday. If you're the Red Sox, you should be shooting for 3 out of 4. You make up the 2 games, get even with the Yankees, and get out of there. And now here we go. We erased the impact of those losses or negated the losses from Baltimore in the last Marlins game. We made the ground back up, and now we're going to beat them to the finish line. But how do I feel about it going into the series? Not good. They're not playing great, and it looks like the Yankees are coming together.
So if you think that a playoff berth is in the bag, it might be. I mean, they're 2 games ahead, 2.5 ahead in the I call it 3. I'm sorry. So they're 3 even ahead in the playoff berth. Okay, so they're 3 games clear there. They're going to be in the playoffs after this series no matter what. It'd really have to go south for them to, I think, lose that playoff berth. But here are the stakes. Home field. In that wild card round, the home team hosts all 3 games if it goes 3 games. So
Bingo.
It's a 3-game series. They're all in the higher seed building. So what it is the division winner with the worst record hosts the last wild card team, and then the top wild card team hosts the second wild card team. I hope you can follow along with that. If the playoffs began today, which is what I'm trying to tell you, you wouldn't just be on the road in the first round. You'd be at the Yankees.
Yep, in New York.
Okay? If you fall to the third wild card spot, you would be at probably, right now it looks like Houston is going to be that third division winner.
You got it.
Okay, so given the way you play at home versus on the road, you want to be at home. And given how you're able to scout pitchers, I think you want to be at home. I think that's pretty evident.
It's a big thing.
So it's not just making the playoffs. It's if you have a chance to do anything, especially the way you play at home, you want to be at home.
Yes, it's a big thing. And look, when you have a great team, and the Red Sox had championship caliber teams, they could win on the road because they had better pitching, and they could go into these places, put their ace on the mound, and he was good enough to win there, and then you're fine, you get back home. They still cleaned up on teams at home, though, even when they didn't have home field. They're not a great team anymore. Home field would make a difference for them. I think everybody feels that way. So to get that first wild card spot is not insignificant, and they've already given it up. You can't lose any more ground to the Yankees in this series. Can't do it.
So it's also a chance to look back at the trade deadline and see how each team handled it. And Alex Spear wrote about this in the Boston Globe, a headline looking back as they prepare to take on the rival Yankees. How do the Sox think they did at the trade deadline? And the Yankees invested far more at the trade deadline than you did, and how has it worked out for each team? Well, just scoreboard, the Yanks have gone 8-8 since the deadline. But after an initial stumble, they found their footing, winning 4 straight. You've gone 9-8 since the deadline, but enter the series having dropped 3 straight and 8 of the last 12, writes Spear, saying the Red Sox are springing leaks, making it natural to wonder if they could have done more in the days leading up to July 31st. Oh, you don't say.
Yep.
Thoughts, Murray?
Yeah, I think you can go before the trade deadline, too, with Rafael Devers. I don't care what he's doing with the Giants. I care about him in this lineup and how he was in this lineup, specifically against the Yankees. He was a Yankee killer. And so their bats have kind of died out. And since going 9-8 since the deadline, all right, they've pitched a little better, and they got hot. but they still miss his bat. And so a caller brought this up in the midday too with the McCone McCarthy. And it's like, right, like Devers was a huge part of that series when they swept the Yankees the last time they saw him. If they don't hit this weekend, you can say like, well, I mean, was that the right thing to do? I know he was a pain in the ass, but that guy against the Yankees, he always showed up.
Yeah, he could hit New York. And Devers was a guy that could hit good pitching because he can hit pitches that are outside the strike zone. And just quickly, Mike, the Yankees, that story was written before the game last night. The Yankees won last night as well.
So they're 9-8 as well.
And they've won 5 in a row.
They're both 9-8 and won 5 in a row. Okay, very good. Spear writes, when the Sox and Yankees meet on Thursday, they may need a moment to take stock of their reconfigured rosters. It's been 2 months since the teams met. On the night following their last encounter on June 15th, the Sox traded Devers, hours after he'd hit a home run for the 31st time in his career against the Yankees. The trade deadline brought further change, with the Sox landing starter Dustin May and reliever Steven Matz. The Yankees went further, acquiring 7 players, most notably high-octane late-inning arms David Bednar, Camilo Doval, and Jake Bird. So we would say here, Jimmy, that it was the Yankees that went super pen, right?
Super pen.
So it was the Yankees that decided to do that, and you just took back a bunch of crap.
Try to go super pen.
So it was the Yanks that went super pen.
They did.
F the super pen, guys.
For the Yankees, Bednar and third baseman Ryan McMahon have come as advertised, but their other acquisitions have been unavailable or disappointing. Bird got demoted to AAA. Doval has struggled, and 3 position players have landed on the injured list. Meanwhile, okay, I'll just sum up. Matz has done nothing in high leverage situations.
Correct. Super pen.
He's been okay, but did you realize? I was trying to get the Dustin May's numbers in here. That May's actually, when you look at what he's done front to end, hasn't been too bad. Anyway, how do you assess it, Mazz, since the trade deadline?
I would say slight edge New York, and I would say slight edge. May has been okay, but I also would tell you that they've lost 2 out of the 3 games that he's pitched. So he pitched well against the Astros, and that was not an insignificant game. But the Red Sox also scored 14 runs. They won the game 14-1. So now May was part of that, but I'm not all that confident in Dustin May. I believe in the quality of the player, but if we're talking about impact, May's been okay. Matz really hasn't done anything. He's been kind of neutral. The one time they put him, as you said, into a spot that was a high leverage situation, he blew the game. He was part of the blown save along with Weissert in that game. So the Yankees, I think, did a little bit better at the deadline. Now, have they gotten the benefits of that yet? No, but it looks like it's starting to come. I will say quickly, Bednar blew a save in the 9th inning last night. So they ended up winning the game in extras, but he wasn't a big reason why.
Through 3 starts, May has given the Sox the boost they sought, posting a 2.87 ERA with 17 strikeouts and 4 walks in 15 2/3. What's the record in his games?
1-2.
Okay, I wish Alex had put that in there. That's the thing I care about. But anyway, May's probably given him a little bit more than we were expecting.
Yeah, there is a tangential benefit for them too, because they were having so much difficulty at the end of the rotation that it was taxing the bullpen. So just May going in there and giving him 6 innings in the last 2 starts helps.
While Matz has offered solid relief, aside from a homer that led to a loss in the Marlins game on Sunday.
Yeah, aside from that.
Yeah, let's overlook that one.
The bullpen has been vulnerable this month, posting a 4.25 ERA, 19th in the majors, and a 20% strikeout rate, 26th in the majors. It's worth noting, however, that the Yankees bullpen has posted a slightly higher ERA this month. Still, the Sox have struggled to find consistent contributors beyond Aroldis Chapman, Garrett Whitlock, and Matz in August. I wouldn't put Matz on that list. The lack of bullpen swing and miss is a shortcoming. With the trade deadline passed, the Sox believe they still have internal reinforcements. And he quotes Breslow. Craig Breslow says, I think that what you want to do is make sure that as you're staring down August and September, that you've given yourself options and multiple layers of options. Boy, don't you hate the way these guys talk?
Yes.
Every time they start talking, I'm like, dude, are you talking baseball? You want to give yourself options and multiple layers of options, said Breslow. I think we have the depth currently in AAA that maybe we haven't had in a number of years. So isn't that rich? They totally cheap out at the trade deadline. And now we have to hear about all the depth they have at AAA that's going to come up here and make an impact.
Right. And
my
next question would be, if you've had that depth all along, why haven't you used it yet?
This is a fair point, Maz.
So, like, all of a sudden, they made all these moves here in the last couple of days, right? Isaiah Campbell hit the bricks. You're out of here. Abraham Toro now has been waived. See you later. He's out of here. And now the password's coming up tonight because Abreu's on the injured list. And who else did they bring up? They brought back David Hamilton.
Yeah, right.
Right. So, again, they got rid of Toro, who can't play, for Hamilton, who can't bunt. So I think that is what the roster move is there. But whatever, nonetheless. All of a sudden now it feels like we've got to get serious about the roster. So they waited until now? Why didn't you do it last week?
You tell me.
What the hell was the problem with doing it last week?
You tell me.
I don't know. Maybe it's because Cora's been bitching.